or maybe you don't feel so good, tell me in the chat. Yay. So, and then, halo, my name's Hanifa. For those yang baru datang di week 2, mungkin pertama kali kalian ngeliat aku, jadi intro dikit, aku dulu juga sempat jadi Summer Club Rookie nih, 2019 pas offline. Terus sekarang aku bantu-bantu di event Janji, and I'll be your moderator today. So, and girls, kalau bisa tolong nyalain your videos because we want to see your beautiful faces. So, yeah, today we have a great speaker. And so as we already got a little sneak peek, she's at Umi Eats on Instagram. But yeah, so everyone please say hi and welcome Kak Umi in the chat. You can say spam a lot of highs. So yeah, we'd love to see your names go through the chats. Ooh, see? Everyone
wow.
So yeah, Kak Umi is the graphic or multimedia editor at the New York Times. So kita habis ini langsung cari tahu aja lebih banyak tentang Kak Umi. So yeah, ini kalian juga as per usual bisa scan this QR code and go to slido.com and put the hashtag workshop 29 June untuk tanya-tanya pertanyaan ke Kak Umi. Atau nanti aku juga bisa bantu kalian to raise hand and nanya langsung juga boleh when we go to the Q&A session. So yeah, another one. Okay. Yeah. Terus aku juga mau ingetin lagi, so nanti kalian pas tanya di slido.com jangan lupa taruh nama kalian, kayak jangan anonymous, karena yang nanya 2 pertanyaan termenarik dan the 2 most interesting questions bakal dapat a special gift. Jadi please go ask questions. And yeah, so nggak usah lama-lama lagi, we can just start. Ini cuman kayak a chill conversation, getting to know each other, and yeah. So hi Kak.
Hi. Wait, do I need to also do the slido.com?
No, don't worry, Kak.
Oh.
I'll ask the questions to you. I'll read out the questions to you. Don't worry.
All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure what that is.
No, it's
okay,
fine. It's for
it's
for the people here. Okay. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you have going on, the work you do.
Yeah, okay. Can I just share my screen as well?
Boleh banget.
All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, I just prepared a very quick deck on okay, how do I present this? Okay. Yeah, so who am I and what I do? Hi everyone, my name is Umi. Ngomongnya campur-campur bahasa Inggris, bahasa Indonesia nggak apa-apa ya, soalnya mungkin ada beberapa yang kayak istilah-istilah nanti yang kayak agak kagok, soalnya karena di kantor juga agak bingung nge-translate. Jadi my name is Umi, and this is the place that I work for the past 5 years, I think. I joined the Times in 2016, October. So this is a picture of newsroom before the pandemic. As we can tell that everyone's very close to each other.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much it's a newsroom. This is actually taken during the Pulitzer Day. So you can see the crowds are gathering on the second floor. And the way that, the masthead would announce who gets Pulitzer. And usually the New York Times would get I don't know, plenty of them. So it is sort of one of the days that we feel really proud of just being there. But so pretty much what I do is that I'm a graphic/multimedia editor in the digital news design team. And if in one sentence, it's pretty much a combination of combining the skill of both developer, designer, and also an editor. So usually yes. Yeah, so in short, what I do is more I'm in the news design in the newsroom, and then I work with people across multiple desks. So sometimes I can work with like the food desk, travel desk, and then there's like styles, fashion, what else? Like national, metro, international, and so on and so on. So I work with like people from the desk, like they usually there's a reporter, right? There's the journalist, the reporter, and then there's also like a photo editor who work like with photographers, and then there's also like video editor. It depends on like the kind of asset that is needed, and like when you're telling a story, when we're making an article. But so what I did is that I make design UI mockups,
Mhm.
and then I actually code and implement them, and then I publish them. So it's pretty much like it's an end-to-end process where you get to not only design things, but you also like build it. And then the biggest part of it is actually the editing part.
Mhm.
um yeah, so I can talk more about that later. But okay, a little bit of background of like how I end up here. So I ini dari mana ya backgroundnya, bentar. dari dari SMA apa dari kuliah apa dari SD apa gimana?
um, um, I would say like, where do you think it's significant? Yang mana yang paling kayak signifikan, kayak growth-nya dari mana gitu mungkin bisa dikasih tahu
Yeah.
dikit. Mm-mm.
Well, mungkin dari kuliah S1 kali ya.
Mm-mm.
I went to apa namanya? Informatika ITB tahun 2005. Terus lulus 2009. Terus sempet pernah ngerasa salah jurusan pas ngambil kuliah S1, karena ngerasa kan kayak nggak tahu kenapa kok bisa nyampe di informatika ITB juga kayak nggak ngerti deh, pokoknya udah nggak usah dibahas itu.
Oke. Oke.
Sebenarnya dulu pengennya kedokteran, cuman sama UGM nggak keterima, tapi alhamdulillah juga nggak masuk kedokteran.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, so I got to informatics program, and then that's where I start learning code. But then my experience coding like back in 2005 was just like, it was extremely intimidating because I feel like everyone, like all my peers, they're all from like, I was from Jogja, and then like all my peers, most of them are from Jakarta, and then like some of them went to like Toki, like Tim Olimpiade Komputer Indonesia and whatnot. So it was like a peer pressure sort of thing.
Right.
And then I decided that, I don't really like coding, but then I like designing things. So, and then from there, I got a job at Microsoft. I did an internship at Microsoft Indonesia in 2000, and I forgot when. But anyway, I worked as a UX evangelist for Microsoft Indonesia for 4.5 years, from 2010 to 2014. And then from there, I think my career was sort of like stuck. Like UX wasn't really has not been a big thing yet back in 2010 and 2012.
Yep.
So I decided like, okay, maybe I should find a grad school instead. So I started like searching for like grad school, and then I ended up at Parsons School of Design in New York. They have a lot of like scholarship option that they don't really disclose that information anywhere else, except if like you have to like sort of being proactive and like reach out and email the counselor and all of that. So I did like all of that, and I got like a scholarship from Parsons. But pretty much, if there's a will, there's a way. That is like that's cliche, but very true.
Yep.
But then from there, I did a grad school in Parsons. I did a MFA Design and Technology program. And that's sort of like when I realized that like visual storytelling and like interactive multimedia articles and all of that, like the way you make story more interesting to readers, I didn't realize that it's a field of work, until I've seen a lot of articles from like the New York Times. So when I graduated, in 2016, in May 2016, I was like, okay, maybe I should apply a job at the New York Times, And then I didn't realize that like I have zero journalism background, so it's really like intimidating, like entering a newsroom where I'm pretty much like I came from like a tech background, and then I came also from like a almost a computer science program, but then like everyone I know, they entered either from like a journalistic school, or like they have some sort of like an internal network or connection, and I didn't have any back at the time. And then like even on like my wait my one of my interview questions when I got interviewed for working here, they were asking me like if I had a like, do you have any journalism background? And then my answer was like, I don't know, I did like food blogging, I don't know if that counts. Like it's really like whatever. Like yeah, I was pretty like pessimistic. Like I actually don't even know how I got here. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, there's that. But turns out like it all went like pretty well, Like I've been in the same job in the same title for like the past. This October would be my 5th anniversary at the New York Times. So I have not been bored at all because I've been working with like different desks. Like I maintain like relationship and network from like multiple desks. So I'm not like exclusively attached or embedded to like a certain desk. Yeah. So yeah, and then I have that's sort of like a 5-minute story, but like if you want to hear like the 90-minute version, there's the the You Do You podcast that I did with Ruby, which was, I don't know why he did 90 minutes, man. Like it's too long. I wish he cut it down.
No, wait, I'm gonna stop you there because I want to plug this podcast as well. Karena girls, like for your information, aku tahu kamu juga dari podcast ini, and that's why I also chose to invite her was because through this podcast. And honestly, I think 90 minutes itu worth it banget untuk didengerin. Karena even if dengerinnya kayak di setengah-setengahin gitu, tapi kayak I think there's a lot of insights there that you can learn about both Kaumi and about life, about career gitu. So yeah, for more of that, you can check that out. It's
Yeah,
Korubi
it's
Studio.
completely optional. You
Yeah.
don't have to.
No, but I recommend you to. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Thank you for that intro, Kat. So maybe we can like
Yeah.
just have a little chit chat now about it. And yeah. I think it's what stuck to me is how you're able to like go to this other field, kayak misalnya apa tadi, journalism, and then padahal
Yes.
your background is like tech, and oh wait, before that aku juga pengen sebut tadi Kaumi pas masuk yang ITB kan coding kan dulu. So, and you even wanted to do apa namanya, kedokteran kan at first, and I just wanna give credit apa ya, kayak give kudos to the rookies here karena kalian tuh artinya udah dapet this exposure to like data science, game design, Python at such an earlier UI UX pun kayak at such an earlier age. Jadi tuh kalian udah dapet that optionality dari awal. Jadi kalian udah tahu kayak what perhaps you kind of want to do, and like so yeah, and as compared to misalnya kayak dulu kayak Kaumi baru tahu all these things pas masih kuliah gitu loh kan. So I think I just want to give appreciation to the rookies here to show how great your opportunities are now. And so continuing on with my point tadi, aku mau nanya Kak, since you came
Mhm.
from a tech background and you have to transition to a journalism industry, which are quite different, what do you think
Yeah.
were the transferable skills that you gained from the uh, tech background that you could apply to the
Yeah.
journalism industry, biar rookies ini tahu kayak dari tech tuh belum tentu kayak kamu misalnya kuliah tech belum tentu kamu juga karirnya harus tech banget because there's so many options out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that is a good, very good question. Transferable
Skills.
skill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought about that until I actually, like took a leap of faith and like just jumped into whatever is new to me. I guess I mean, I can tell you all about the differences between like tech and journalism, but now that I'm like being asked this question, I need a second to think about the skills that was transferable because like first of all, the culture is different, right? The
Okay.
culture is like completely more like laid back and chill in like tech companies, but um and on the other hand, a newsroom, since we're talking about like hard news or soft news, like it's pretty much like real time, so the deadline is also like much more um it's much more like strict, like hard deadlines. And so that also that translates to like the skill of like just like adapting in general, like adapting to
Mm-hmm.
like whatever change of pace that's happening. And then like adapting quickly is definitely one thing, and also like the skill of like just like learning new things like very quickly, like just being a completely blank sponge and like trying to like absorb everything that's new to you. Because to me, like to be honest, it took more than like a year for me to actually get comfortable with like just like terms and like phrases about like news, so
Yeah.
like the editors would definitely have like slangs, like we would call them like slangs, but like it's really like just the type of words that the editor uses while like editing and all of that. Like I didn't know what like TK means, and then turns out it's just like to come, but it's like it's a very newsroom thing. Like none of the tech people would know that. Um, and then like what else? It would be I feel like it would also be the same if you're like in marketing or agents or like agency field or advertising, like they definitely have their own like slangs and like keywords that they use. So same goes with newsroom. But yeah, I mean like I think it's more like interpersonal skill rather than like tech skill, like
Okay.
those things you can learn on the job.
Mm-mm,
I
mm-mm.
don't know if that's helpful. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oke, jadi mungkin kalau aku mau coba clarify kali ya. Jadi dari tech uh, yang bisa kita apply ke sektor-sektor lain itu the apa ya, like the thinking skills perhaps, maksudnya kayak the apa ya, the intuitive skills atau the and also the intrapersonal skills thing, dimana kayak kita bisa adaptasi lebih cepat, bisa
Yeah.
bisa belajar hal baru lebih cepat karena kan teknologi juga sektor yang terus berubah dan terus berganti juga kan ya. Terus dan dari essentially dari ide itu kita bisa aplikasikan ke sektor-sektor lain gitu ya.
Yeah.
Especially in the newsroom di mana kayak Kaumi juga apa ya you're stuck with deadlines and karena it's current news, you have to be updated. So
Yeah.
did I like did I miss anything or would you clarify anything then?
No, it's all correct. It's pretty much because like news is more like events based,
Mm,
so it's like tied to like
real
certain
time.
events. Yeah, like we just have to like adhere like deadlines more.
Mm,
Like
mm, mm. Oke, oke, ngerti. Oke. Ya, aku jadi pengen kayak the rookies to know that ya kayak just because you're in tech doesn't mean you have to be like a software developer terus gitu kan ya. Even in the work you're doing, you're also doing coding kan, designing. And minggu lalu tuh week 1 juga ada UI UX design nih di Summer Club. Jadi
Oh,
yeah, so it's really crazy how they get to learn UI UX
yeah.
design.
Oh my God. Like, what did I do in my high school? And like, I wish I had this much exposure to cool things.
So yeah, but now we have exposure to you juga, which is a cool person who can tell us these cool stories. So yeah, aku tadi mau lanjut ke the maybe about your work in the newsroom itself, karena kayak aku personally tuh jarang banget dengar stories of people yang kerja di bidang jurnalistik gitu, karena aku mungkin kurang punya close connections to this gitu. Aku pengen tahu Kak, kalau misalnya di bidang jurnalistik ada nggak ya kayak ke kesenjangan gender, is that the word? I want to say gender gap. So ya pokoknya kayak is there like some form of implicit female discrimination or even like male discrimination gitu? Bisa cerita dikit?
Yeah. Like to be completely honest, when I first joined in 2016, I was the only 2 women in my team. Like 2 women out of let me count. It was probably around like 2 out of 10, I would say. For the news design team. So like news design back in 2016, we were also like still a pretty small team. But then like that was also one thing that was like surprising to me. I was like, wait, we only have like 1 other woman, and like I'm obviously the only Asian out of like the sea of like white people.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, like when you're in that situation, sometimes like I can't help but wonder if am I just like a diversity hire, you know what I mean? Like especially being like an international in New York, it's never that easy. Like there's always going to be like this preconception that like, you know, like hire Americans, all of that, you know, but like New York is much better now, you know.
Yep.
And like having been on the job for so long, I feel like over the past couple of years, we are getting better at that, you know, at hiring people. And now the percentage of like the woman to men ratio in my team, I think it's like about 50-50.
Oh, okay.
So it's definitely gotten like a lot better since 2016. So they like the company did, you know, like they made like lots of like policies about like diversity and like talent inclusion and all of that. And over the past 4.5 years, it's gotten a lot better. But sometimes I have to say that, like, to be honest, it's always a struggle, you know, when you're like woman in a newsroom. There's always going to be that challenge of like making your voice heard more in a very like white male centric, like in a world just like dominated by like white male pretty much. But you know, but now like even the leadership, like the masthead people, the leadership, like a lot more like Black, African American, and also like Asian are getting hired to be like on the leadership position. So that's also like a good thing. So yeah, I think in general, it's also just that like sometimes, like right now I'm in a project working for like the Olympics this summer. And like honestly, I am the only 2 women working for like that Olympics either. So it's like, you know, like I keep saying that it's getting better, but obviously there's always going to be like some projects where you're the only woman in the room, you know. And that's, yeah, it's fine because like at least like my boss is such a nice person. Like he always makes sure that my voice is heard. Like he would always do like a check-in on me like every, like every week or something. And then he would ask like, how's it going? Like, are you being hurt? Or like, do you have any like complaints about your, I don't know, like teammates or whatever. So we always have like that kind of check-in. But finding like a support system, I think is also like a good key to have. Um, yeah, I mean, like everyone just navigate. I feel like every company navigate this like quite differently. But one thing for sure, I think for me, it's like like trying to find a support system
Mm-mm-mm.
that helps a lot, you know.
Jadi kayak despite kakak tuh kayak in a team mana perempuannya dikit banget,
Mm.
do you still feel that you have enough support? Like maksudnya walaupun a minority, so um, the the key is to keep the key is to surround yourself with a good supportive environment or be in a company that does value kayak yang mengapresiasi ke there's this thing I learned actually that diversity, cognitive diversity atau itu kayak keberagaman keberag, keberagaman kayak pikiran dan juga kayak gender
Yes.
gitu. Jadi I think
Yeah.
I really like when you said that you're in New York Times itu sekarang udah mendingan karena kayak when you first started itu kayak Kaumi cuman berdua doang tapi sekarang udah kira-kira 50% female dan 50% male. So I think
Yeah.
it's really good that your company supports this increased inclusion and diversity in the workplace gitu
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
leadership positions tadi. Okay.
Yeah, and leadership
Mm-mm.
positions. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's getting better. I mean, because I feel like tech companies are obviously gonna be much more advanced than a newsroom. Like newsroom usually they still hold onto like conservative um, norm. Like they follow some like pretty kayak dari turun temurun aja gitu, karena kayak orang dulu ngelakuinnya kayak gini jadi
Mm.
berikutnya selalu
Mm.
selalu kayak gitu lagi gitu. But now it's getting a lot more like modern, like the way of thinking, the way they approach matters, the way they approach like they solve conflicts and whatnot. Like I feel like it's definitely, they consider a lot more voices from like different buckets of um, ERG. We call it ERG, like what is it? Enterprise Resource Group. So there's like the Arabs or like the Asian American and all of that.
Mm. I see, I see. Oh, oke, oke. Kak, aku sebenarnya tadi pengen, aku lupa tadi pengen minta show some of your work. So perhaps like maybe you could share screen again. Like I think we haven't got a chance for the rookies to see like what your actual like articles look like in New York Times because I
Yeah,
would have been.
sure.
I think it's really interesting.
Um, okay,
Bisa?
wait, let me.
Yes.
Yes, right. Do you see this screen?
Yes, yes, I see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have just a quick slides about what storytelling is, because
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
we're going to be talking a lot about like the power of visual storytelling, but what is
Mm-mm.
exactly storytelling?
Mm-mm.
Like in simple terms, I think it really is just content plus form. Like this is not a definition you'll see in like Wikipedia or stuff, but this is something that I think I synthesized based on like what I do.
Mm-mm.
And I know for sure that like this is exactly what it is. Storytelling is pretty much like it's a combination of like content and form. Like however you combine it, it creates a story, which is what's important. And what really makes a good storytelling is that, just it really is about telling a coherent story. Like it really has to have a narrative. I think I might have copy pasted it 3 times intentionally, but it's pretty much, it's really the story that matters. And then there's the matter of like, whether you're helping reader to try to understand better and like to engage emotionally better. And I think at the end of the day, once I get to like a very complex storytelling project, at the end of the day, what my boss keep telling me is to like dumb down, you know, to simplify things. Like it doesn't have to be complex to be good, you know, and all of that. Like it's a long process, but then, you know, like you really want to like ask yourself, like take a stop, take a break, and then like ask yourself if you can simplify it even further.
Mm-mm.
And the other two is grayed out because I feel like it's an added value, which is like nice to have. But if you currently don't have the skill yet, it's something that you're still working on, then it's completely fine. You know, you can add like interactivity, and then it reaches balance between like visual and form, yada yada yada.
Mm-mm.
But okay, so this is I'm gonna just like keep showing projects that I
Mm-mm.
did. So I did. This was in 2018. I worked with like the what this was this? I think the Modern Love. I don't know if any of you know the Modern Love column, but it's sort of like a popular column in the styles desk where we pretty much we assign like 20 something photographers who are 18 years old
Mm-mm.
around the world, and then this piece is pretty much like telling how it feels to be 18 by their perspective. So you can kind of see that like the design is pretty much like free form. It looks like scrapbook, you know. And then that's sort of like the art direction that we were going with
Mm.
this piece. So there's like one girl from India, and then she does like all of this like dancing class, and then in between we also have like all of this, you know, like slang words, and then there's like one from UK.
Banget. I just have to say this is very good website design. Maksud aku kayak dalam dari perspektif
I
teknya
know.
aku suka banget kayak cara layout website ini, dan kayak kalau kalian pernah ngambil kelas yang build your own website, kalian tahu bikin website kan susah, yang basic. Jadi apalagi yang kayak gini, jadi aku kayak amuse banget. Ini kayak bagus banget.
Yeah,
It's so
I
cute.
mean, this was well, the art direction was supposed to look like it's an 18-year-old that made the website. So that's sort of like, you know, I did like an SVG clip of like this is all just CSS. Like this is nothing really fancy, but like combined with the right context, like you can really tell like a really powerful storytelling. So that's why I said like content plus form is really what makes it. Yeah.
Jadi konten dan bentuknya gitu kali ya. Kan ini kontennya tuh
Yeah.
all the words, the pictures. Jadi arti-arti dalam
Yes.
foto-foto ini sih, arti-arti dalam teksnya sendiri itu harus bagus, dan juga
Betul.
bentuknya atau gimana cara dipresentasiinnya gitu ya.
Yes. Nah, form itu juga bentuknya bisa macam-macam kan. Kayak misalnya ada kayak medianya apa aja, misalnya kayak foto-foto. Terus ada juga yang kayak video gitu. Ada juga yang kayak misalnya GIF, atau kadang-kadang ada yang audio gitu. Yeah, and then sometimes there's also like a hidden, we call it like Easter eggs, you know, kayak fitur-fitur yang nggak kelihatan tapi ternyata kayak kalau diklik bisa jadi apa gitu.
Iya.
I'm gonna show like another example.
Boleh banget, boleh banget. Because yeah, I think I think your work like speaks for itself. Kalau harus dilihat ini ya.
Yeah, this one is sort of similar to the This Is 18 piece, but this one we interviewed almost like more than 100 women's World Cup players. This was back in 2019. Yeah, 2019. And then we partner with this organization called Gold Click. where we gave like dozens of players like disposable cameras. So these are all also like women in their 20s, you know, and then all the photos were taken by them. Like this is like the Thailand national team captain.
Mm-mm. Mm.
And then, you know, like we asked them like questions like, what does your family think about your job as professional soccer player? And then we sort of just like display them in a way that is like interesting. You know, like, do you ever have to play about boys team or against boys and all of that? So I think, yeah, it's really, there's a lot of, the process of this is mostly like talking back and forth and like having meetings back and forth with the editor, trying to like figure out like the content and the form again. So like which content goes into like what kind of form, like for example, like this one, how much money did you make playing soccer this year? Like how do you, like the data that we get was just like in a normal Excel sheet, you know,
Yep,
but
yep.
like how can we sort of like make it more interesting or
Mm.
something, you know? It's really, and yeah, and like things like this, like comparison, like what's the hardest versus like what's the best part of being a female soccer player and all of that. So yeah, and then another one, oh, this is actually this is my favorite piece, but this might have audio, so I'm just gonna let it run.
Oh.
So this is pretty much, it's about women indie band. We interviewed and we shoot them in Bushwick in Williamsburg in Brooklyn.
Mm.
So we invited like 10 bands, I think. I forgot how many. But then this piece is trying to like prove that, like, you know, like rock is not dead because like all these indie women are like, you know, making their case for like proving that women make the best rock music today.
Kok kaget, sorry. Sorry, but yes. Okay, cool. And now that
So
kita udah lihat beberapa kayak karya-karya Kak Umi, aku tuh mau bilang kayak yang aku that's so cute. Jadi what I love about like what you do or itu kayak atau kayak your apa what your team does itu basically kakak punya you have control over how people see the world or how people see the news gitu kan. Terus lebih
yeah,
dari cuman kan kita biasa kalau baca news article tuh kadang mungkin it's a bit boring ya kayak kalau baca teks doang gitu. Tapi aku suka
yeah,
dan kakak tuh pakai teknologi dan data visualisasi ini untuk bikin something yang lebih interaktif, terus yang lebih kayak it's very pretty and it's very interesting and makes you want to read gitu and I think itu kenapa and I think you also have like a responsibility on how you want to impact this story to tell the story to someone kan and that's why aku tuh merasa storytelling tuh penting gitu. Kalau menurut kakak gimana? Kayak menurut kakak kenapa the skill to storytell nggak harus kayak lewat coding, nggak harus lewat ini, tapi the skill to be able to kayak ngobrol sama teman kayak kalau cerita-cerita kayak gini tuh atau like tell it a coherent story gitu. Itu kenapa pentingnya kak? Menurut kakak?
yeah. Kalau kalau menurut aku sih, um, wait, I'm gonna switch to English because I
Iya,
can't even.
it's okay, I
Sorry.
can help you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the importance of telling a story. Well, number one, it's really about like making sure that your voice is out there, you know, like, because there's always going to be a different perspective that some people might not even like think about is happening, you know. So with storytelling, you have the authority and you have the liberty to do whatever you want, to display whatever you want, to like shape the narrative, to like, that's pretty much what journalists do, right? But then combine, and like journalists usually like write the reporter usually write the draft and text and whatnot. But like the visual editors, like people like me, what we do is that we elevate um, we elevate the text and we combine it with like different types of like media, like audio, video, or photograph, or like just a simple like a transition animation or whatever. We combine those elements and we sort of like transform just like static words to something more of an experience. So because I think it really matters how people consume the experience as well, you know, like that's the thing that we always try like think about. Like for example, like I would say like 2/3 of our readers consume the stories in mobile phones, you know, so that's something that we always also like think about, like, you know, think about your audience, not just in your laptop, think about how they would consume it in their phones, in their morning commute, in the subway, or like in whatever, and like during traffic. So it's thinking about like the form that works for like a lot of people, and thinking about like bite-sized news, making it like compact, like all that consideration for like a better experience. So in the end, I guess it sort of comes back to like, you know, like the importance of storytelling is really um, to, you know, to make people more engaged in that story. So say that you're someone that you're not interested at all about one topic. Like for example, like I don't know anything about NFT, for example, you know, but then if I click on a story that has like a more interesting way of explaining to me what NFT is, like it could be like a game, you know, or it could be like a quiz about NFT. It could be something about the interactivity that makes me feel more included as a reader. You know, I feel like that would definitely help you, you know, like understand the topic better. So I guess that is like, to me, that is the point of doing visual storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's, yeah, I just think it's really powerful.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the stories that we published actually had a lot of like impact, like real world, you know, like um I don't know, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
The election, or like, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the election too. Yeah, the election was another beast. Like I have a whole slide about the election because I also just presented like 2 months ago for some university. But yeah, the election is a is a completely new. It's a year or more than a year full of, you know, just work and like dozens of people. But yeah, working out the election was pretty fun.
Okay, cool. Jadi kalau aku bisa step back a bit, kayak kalau Mi tadi bilang kepentingan di skill storytelling atau cara membawa sebuah cerita atau cerita di manapun tuh kayak pentingnya tuh untuk pertama essentially tuh untuk bikin yang mendengarin cerita kita atau membaca cerita kita tuh um, engaged, you know, untuk to make the whoever you're telling the story to engage into or jadi penasaran dan jadi pengen tahu dan jadi punya pengertian yang lebih dalam dalam cerita tersebut gitu.
Yes.
And I think I love what you do because you add this interactivity element, and then jadi kayak kalau misalnya kita ada sebuah interaksi dari medium cerita ini dan yang pendengar atau yang pembaca, itu jadi si pembaca atau pendengar itu jadi merasa included, merasa you're being you get the whole experience where oh okay, now I can understand this better, nggak cuman kayak oh nih baca nih itu jelasin gitu doang. Apalagi dengan topik-topik yang kayak kita nggak tahu, kayak tadi Kaumi sebut NFT, itu some new non fungible token. I think it's okay, we don't need to know that now. Tapi pokoknya apalagi hal-hal kadang yang kita susah kita cerna gitu, tapi kalau dengan uh, data visualization atau kayak cara membawa dari Excel sheet doang kayak nomor-nomor yang kita susah bacanya bisa dijadiin yang enak dibaca, enak dimengerti dan seru dibaca juga atau bisa dilihat itu I think that's a powerful tool. I think that's like getting like the misalnya dari tadi aku sebut election soalnya I heard that Kaumi was part of the team yang kemarin cover the US presidential election, pemilu presiden US itu Biden and Trump, right? Jadi I think itu kan kalau data-data poll tuh pasti ya Excel gitu kan, or like I'm not sure how it works, but then it's data is numbers, right? And the way you can convert that numbers into something that people can understand, apalagi something monumental kayak eleksi presiden ini, apalagi mau divisualisasiin kayak di mapnya gitu, yang mana yang banyak gitu. I think itu that's a skill that is maybe what's the word for it, overlooked ya, mungkin menurut aku itu skill yang lumayan berguna banget. Tapi juga bisa di-apply di kayak everyday life gitu loh. Maksud aku kayak cara kamu mau ceritain hal yang terjadi hari ini gitu, biar orang yang pendengarnya tuh merasa you're well engaged gitu lah. Jadi kayak with the conversation itu bisa di-apply ke situ. Gitu. I hope that like aduh malu. But okay, so I think I'm gonna now pull up to the Q&A session. Jadi aku mau tanya dulu nih di sini. Ada yang mau raise hand? Mungkin tanya pertanyaan langsung. Kalau saya tanya di Slido, terus kayak bisa langsung tanya di sini bisa. Oh, so cute. Okay, so there's a comment, not a question, but a fan on the comments. But okay, then I'll bring up a question from. Oh, okay, wait, okay. Oh my god, oh my god, this is so cute. So for people, I guess, in the YouTube live, what just happened is in the chat, someone said Alifa said that this is not a question, but this is a question, what is your fandom name? So I think from this, we have created a Kaumi fandom.
Okay. I do not have a fandom name.
This is so cute. Okay, then aku ambil pertanyaan dari Slido ya. So I think it's Jane. Okay, Jane has a question. When you are applying to Parsons grad school, got accepted there, started learning there, did you have any worries, maybe for the language and those kind of things?
Oh, you mean like English speaking classes? Wait, what?
Maybe Jane could clarify in the chat.
Yes.
Or yeah. Okay. Cool. Go ahead.
Hi.
For me, it's just like the general things. I don't know for you, but like for me, who is not in the background of speaking English, like English is not like my main languages, right? For you to go there, to go to Parsons schools, which everyone is talking in English, I get if you can like do the conversational daily things, but for the lessons, don't you think it's like kind of, wow, this is so hard. I don't know what to do. I cannot keep up with the lesson and everything. Those kind of things.
Okay. From a quick sample of your English, I think your English is extremely good.
Aku juga mau bilang kayak gitu tadi. I also wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, I feel like you sound like better than 50% of my classmates back in Parsons, you know, like it's like, especially in New York, it's such a diverse city that like a lot of people are like internationals here. So like, it's really like no shame about like your English. Like people are not gonna like shame you for like not speaking English with the right accent. There's no right accent even. And in terms of like the lesson itself, like the classes itself, I have to say like kuliah di ITB lebih susah daripada 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 kuliah di Parsons. I
Wow,
feel like I was really struggling in ITB, tapi kayak kuliah di luar kalau menurut aku nggak sesusah sekolah di Indo. Tapi nggak tahu ya, mungkin ini kayaknya jawaban yang salah sih.
aduh, aduh. Okay.
Tergantung ambil jurusan apa juga deh. I mean, yeah, and if you really like what you do, I feel like you will always find fun in it, you know? Like, yeah, I mean, honestly, in my grad school, I thought that I was applying to like a UX school, but then turns out the program that I was into was more like 70% technology and like 30% design. Like there's literally only like one UX lesson. And then I was like, why am I even here? But anyway.
Tapi kayak gimana? Kakak, how are you able to adapt to the English like studying? Like, tapi did you already like pas sebelum itunya, did you already had like how was your English? How did you new culture gitu lah, adapting to the new culture? Nggak usah English speaking doang sih.
You know what? Actually, having an Instagram full of food really helps in terms of like making friends. Like I'm not kidding. Like once they know I have like I post shitload of like food stuff on Instagram, and then like suddenly everyone was like, oh, like asking me where to get lunch and all of that. Like also a lot of my projects during grad school were consistently also about food, you know. So like I'm always I'm sort of like known in my year that like even all the professors know me for having like this like a big interest. I feel like, you know, associating yourself with something that is easier to associate, you know, like, you know, oh, she's like that person.
That is exactly what I was about to say, Kanadine. I was about to say, so basically, guys, what you should do is start a food blog, start a food Instagram page. Okay. But lanjut, Kak. Sorry. lanjut.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, I feel like just making yourself visible in front of like other people or the community. I feel like it's a big part of like, you know, like just be social. Like I'm also technically an introvert, believe it or not, but but like it helps to give yourself some sort of like visibility, you know. And visibility is not just in terms of like partying or like all that awkward social gathering, but it could be in something that could be like helpful for yourself and your interest. Like if you have a big interest in like, I don't know, like teaching, for example, even like tempel aja terus gitu profesor terus kayak aku dulu ujung-ujungnya tawaran buat ngajar setelah lulus juga karena kayak semua profesornya udah tahu gitu. Terus and then one day they were just like, Umi, do you want to teach a class? And then I was like, yeah, sure. That's so I taught like 2 semesters at Parsons because of that. You know, it's like, yeah, just make yourself visible somehow. Whether you intend it or not. But no, food blogger, it's good to have a hobby that's not your job, you know.
Yeah. No, but no, I hear you, Kak. I hear you. Jadi kayak sebenarnya yang pentingnya tuh kayak kalau misalnya kita mau adaptasi nggak cuma ke culture baru atau kayak meet new people gitu atau even kayak just getting used to speaking more English gitu, kayak bisa dengan cara kita lebih putting ourselves out there dulu lah. Kayak people, you'll be surprised if you put yourself out there and show your interest. You'll be surprised how many people would like be interested in what you're interested to. You know, you let the people who are interested in you go to you gitu kan. Once you put yourself out there, jadi there's gonna be like transisinya untuk apa ya? Adaptasi ke kultur barunya jadi lebih smooth, I wouldn't say smooth, but it's less hard, less rough. Like, you know what I mean? Kayak buktinya Kaumi bisa with her passion in food blogging or like her hobby in food blogging, kayak jadi orang bisa oh bisa ada yang diomongin gitu, bisa jadi ada that topic conversation starter gitu lah ya. Keren,
Yes.
keren.
Yeah, you're
And
such a good moderator. Like
oh my god, wait, what? Oh my god, I'm
like
literally so
everything that you
nervous right now.
synthesize. Yeah, like everything that you synthesize actually sounds better than what I
Oh
actually
my god,
said.
no,
So that's
no.
like so good. Good job.
No, oh my god, oh my god, thank you. Oh my god, oh my god. I am blushing right now. But yeah, oh aku cuma pengen kayak sebut by the way, aku tadi baru baca lagi dan ini yang dari Nikki. Hi Kak Umi, not a question, but I love Umi. It's IG page bikin lapar hair, and I just want to let you know that what you do in New York Times is so inspiring and refreshing. More than just news,
Thank
it's a display of art, heart emoji. So thank you Nikki for saying that. Aku tadi nggak kebaca, but yeah, so cute. So I just wanted to say it out loud. So another question from Slido is like, tapi anonym, yeah. How do you get or find inspiration for your design work? I think I'm really interested in this.
Yeah, good question. So we always also learn from like we don't really call them competitors, but you know, like friends in other newsrooms. So like we look up to like our friends in like Washington Post or like Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg News. And then like sometimes we actually like meet them and like hang out with them in like journalism conferences, or like, you know, like all kinds of like nerdy journalist stuff. But yeah, we learn a lot from like what other people have done. So just so that we know what is possible, and like from there we sort of just like keep iterating from like what has been done and try to like think of new ways of like retelling the story with like a slightly different format, but like, you know, just keep adding stuff, or like maybe not even adding stuff, maybe taking out some stuff, you know. So it's like finding the balance and like trying different forms. And yeah, I feel like I've been on a project that goes on for like as long as like 3 or 6 months. Like this Olympics thing has been going on for like since beginning of the year. I'm like tired and sick of it, but like I just wanted to publish it. You know, it's gonna happen this July. But anyway, there's also a project that goes as fast as like 1 week or 2 weeks, you know, or like even 2 days. So it really depends on like the deadline as well. Like if I have enough time, then there's definitely a lot more like design iteration. Or like thinking of like, oh, like what else can I do here? You know, like what else, like how we shape the story and whatnot. But if we don't have that many time, then it's really just like, you know, doing like the simplest thing to achieve like the maximum result. I feel like, if that makes sense.
Oke, jadi kalau mau recap lagi, kayak kalau cara Kak Umi cari inspiration itu lihat-lihat the other news sites juga, kayak Wall Street Journal and all. Terus lihat apa yang udah pernah mereka lakuin, apa yang Kak Umi atau New York Times bisa lakuin beda, dan terus kayak iterasi dan coba-coba terus kan, and make or nggak cuman iterasi dan coba hal baru, bisa aja nge-remove apa yang udah pernah gitu, atau taking out some stuff, like I saw you mention that. So yeah, I guess that's how you find your inspiration or your muse. I like that it's a systematic way to I like that it's a systematic way to find inspiration gitu, nggak cuma nunggu wait for inspiration to come gitu kan. Biasanya kita suka kayak tunggu dulu deh muse, I'm waiting for my muse gitu, and I like that you have like a
Sometimes you won't have that.
Sometimes
you won't have that luxury, you know. In real life, most of the time you're like bounded by deadline and whatever, and like newsroom ego or like bosses.
Bener
and
banget.
All of that.
Iya gitu, jadi nggak bisa cuma tunggu-tunggu, aduh nggak lagi ngamut nih, nanti nggak ada inspirasi desainnya gimana. Jadi aku suka sih, jadi ada a starting point dulu, kayak oke, kita lihat kalau yang udah pernah lakuin tuh apa yang aku bisa lakuin beda, dan apa yang bisa aku nggak usah lanjutin lagi. I think a framework I learned from one of my mentors was like start, stop, continue. So what can you start doing, what you should stop doing, and what you can continue to do. Jadi mungkin bisa
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I have to give credit to my mentor. Yeah. So yeah, kita extend dikit ya, probably around 5 to 10 minutes. So I think that would be the last question in terms of that from Slido. And I think my last thing is to ask you any tips or quick tips for the rookies gitu kan, kayak parting advices. And I think you can share screen again because you showed something really cute tadi.
Oh, yeah. Wait, yeah, let me, where's my screen?
For
Wait,
everyone here. Actually, not just the rookies, it could be for everyone. I feel like we all can learn from you.
wait, can you see the screen?
Yes, can.
Okay, quick tips. Yeah, I just have one slide. Where is it? Here. Okay, this is something that I also just made up this like bad chart. But
It's cute.
like pretty much, I feel like when I approach like a new topic or like a new field that I want to like jump into and learn, I'm always at stage one, right? Like I know nothing about this stuff, you know, and then there from number one, you start like, you know, like learn on your own, just like what is possible with this, you know, like what can you do with it. And then from there you get to a point two where you know the basic rules, you know that you can do things right, and but sometimes you're not even sure what is right and what is wrong, you know, but you know that there are some set of rules. But then from there you either go to like 3A or 3B, but most of people would go to like 3A first, which is because there is a set of rules, you can only follow the rules, you know, which makes sense because that's usually what beginners and like people in like novice level do. But then if we're really talking about like uh get yourself some like a mastery skill, you know, it's probably a little too early to talk about like mastery skill when you're in a high school.
Yep.
Because I'm not trying to like diminish or anything, but it's more because of the amount of time that you spend on something really matters in terms of like shaping your, you know, the overall experience of things. Like from point 3A to 3B, where you actually master the rules, that's why you can break them. That would take more than, I don't know, like let's say like more than 10 years. You know, like it's not something that is as instant as like going from point A to B, where you're like, oh, I feel like I'm like getting good at this, you know, like I master the rules already, I can like break them. But like the thing is, it just comes with experience. It just comes with like, I mean, I was gonna avoid to say age, but age really does give you experience in the long run. So like if you're in the same field or the same field of interest for like a long time, you will soon realize that you're really getting good at it because you can break the rules, you know, like you know where the safety nets are and you know what not to break and all of that, you know, like you invent your own rules. That's usually what people who have the mastery skill can do. So if you're at that level, I would say that at that point you're probably like feeling more content of what you have and what you can do. Yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everything, yeah, I had like a bunch of examples earlier, but if you want to look at more examples, I have it on my old website.
Yeah,
Just
everyone can go there. Oh man, you stopped sharing screen because I was about to say like everyone, you can screenshot that whole diagram that you just made.
Oh wait, yeah, do you want me to share it again?
Yeah, it's okay. People, okay, sure. Yeah, I guess people can screenshot this maybe if you wanna take away. Because aku cuma mau bilang aja, this is so on brand karena even your tips itu kakak kayak visualisasiin in a diagram that's simple to understand and like for people kayak to take in gitu. So yeah, ako suka banget. Oh yay, see. Yeah, I think you ended that really well. So now I just want to say thank you for that conversation. Ini seru banget. And Kashi, for you,
Thank you for having
yes.
me.
Okay, so yeah, on that note, on that like parting advice note, I just want to say thank you Kak Umi udah kayak ngobrol bareng sama kita di sini di YouTube Live juga, and sparing your midnight. It's like 1 a.m. in New York now, so thank you so much.
I'm completely awake now. Okay,
Yeah.
this is so good. Thanks for having me.
Oh my god, yeah, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Like, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna get like at least 50 more followers now for your Instagram if you haven't followed it yet. I'm not gonna stop shouting out your Instagram karena kayak itu enak banget kelihatannya.
Yeah, please say hi on Instagram too.
Yeah. Yeah, so everyone, it's at Umi Eats, if I must reiterate again. Especially your stories, Ka. Ako suka banget yun. Okay, the cooking one. Okay, and then yeah, thank you everyone. Jangan lupa isi happy form kalian juga ya. Nanti bisa komen-komen tentang Kak Umi juga about the speaker session. We really appreciate your feedback. Biar kita bisa tahu apa yang kita bisa benerin, apa yang kita bisa start, stop, and continue. If I may reuse that again. Terus jangan lupa booking office hour kalian, and besok bakal balik lagi jam 10. But before you go, one last thing, Kak, we should have a photo session. So yeah, kita foto the Zoom typical picturing session. So yeah.
How do you do that?
Just like follow my cue. Kashi, so everyone, please turn on your videos biar kita bisa foto bareng. Yeah, I'ma just wait for a bit for people to turn on more of their videos biar kita bisa foto bareng. Yuk. And then we can have a lunch break and Kak Umi can go back to sleep. So, yeah.
I'm hungry now too.
Siapa tahu nanti kita dapat update 1 a.m. Kak Umi di story at Umi Eats after Generation Girl session snack,